What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is the weekly rotation series. I talk about which fragrances I wore last week, and I get your insights to which fragrances you got to wear. Leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your weekly rotation. So I had an interesting week. I had my sister come over, and she was looking for her new signature scent, and she knew that I, have a lot of fragrances. So, I showed her around my collection, and I gave her some samples of some stuff, and it made me really realize the vastness, the overwhelming nature of fragrance collecting. Yes, it's overwhelming when you have all these bottles, but it's also super overwhelming if you're just getting into the hobby and you're not sure which fragrances you like. There are a ton of options out there. And I really didn't know the scale or the severity of how many options there were until somebody who is not, in the fragrance niche, the fragrance community, that kind of thing, their opinion, their outlook, their point of view on it. And so it was quite an interesting kind of perspective that I really am glad that I tapped into, because it's actually made me realize how valuable it is to be super clear about your opinion about reviewing a fragrance and describing it the best possible way that you can, so that your viewer can make an educated purchase. And so, yeah, I've just been chewing on that. So it's just a very huge hobby that you can fall down a rabbit hole and fall down in the wrong fragrances and so on and so forth. So I've always tried to do my best at describing the best or describing the smell best as I can. But that being said, let's jump right into this, and we're going to start it out on Monday. Monday, I decided to wear Bad Boy Extreme. You probably haven't seen this one in a while. I haven't seen it in a while. I haven't worn this in quite some time. And this one is interesting because it is a chocolatey version of the Bad Boy DNA. So it has this chocolate nuance in here. It's pretty gourmand, but it's not like over the top gourmand. Like, there is some freshness in here, some sexy spiciness, and some just pleasant musk and stuff. So it's not just the chocolate fragrance by any means. The longevity is great on this, and it dries down to this woody, chocolatey, vanilla kind of smell with this heavy dose of musk and this kind of sexy, playful spiciness. It's really pleasant. I had a good time wearing this. It's not really a work scent, and it's not really a daily driver scent. So this one was kind of weird and interesting for a Monday morning, Monday morning smelling like a bad boy chocolate gourmand douchebag. It's a little challenging, but it wasn't too bad. It was a kind of a lighter day, so I wasn't really offending everybody. But I really enjoyed wearing it. I really did. All right, then I made a video not too long ago. It was about last week. I talked about fragrances that I love, or that I didn't love at first, but then I started growing into them. And this was one of the fragrances that was on my shelf when I was looking at the video, and I had this in the back of the shelving because I did not care for this one for the longest time, and I had to go back and rewatch the video. And from my take on the video that I watched, was I just didn't like the performance on it. It's a good smell, but the performance is weak, is what I said in one of the videos. And to that point exactly, it's a very soft fragrance. This is a very soft fragrance. It's not going to be a beast mode like projector, but it does have some good longevity on it. It lasted all day for me, and it was a pleasant, skin scent. It was like a skin area scent. This, I would say, it's a very good cuddling fragrance. This is not like a announce yourself, walk in the room, and you're choking out everybody. This is much more of a discover, if you're intimate with somebody, or you're, hugging somebody, really close quarters, that kind of thing. If you overspray it, I can see how you can really push off with it. But yeah, other than that, I enjoy it. I really do. I was wearing it on Tuesday, and I really, really liked it. And I'm going to start wearing a little bit more of it here and there. I have so many fragrances that it's hard to get to things that I actually like. So but yeah, right now, I'm glad that I picked it back up for that video and recorded my thoughts and stuff, and then wearing it on Tuesday was such a special thing. So really enjoyed it. All right, then on Wednesday, I actually made like I went to the mailbox hoping that one of my packages was going to be there, and luckily it was. I left the house though to get my mail and then just head to work after that. So if the box wasn't in there, I would not be wearing a fragrance on Wednesday, but luckily it was. And in the package was this bad boy, I Breeze from Rasasi. And recently I got this one in and been spending so much time with it. So I wore it on Wednesday, right out of the box. I sprayed it on in my car, and it was cold to the touch because it was sitting in the mailbox all night, I think, and it was so cold. But sprayed it on and instantly fell in love with it. This kind of, DNA is always so amazing. It's fresh, it's clean, it's kind of like Invictus meets like any kind of blue fragrance. It's powdery, sexy musk with this sophistication and just this playful sweetness that you would find in Invictus and even Hawass. I wore Hawass later in the week and to compare the two, and they're pretty much identical. They don't smell much different. I think that I Breeze here is a lot softer and a lot more like tame and smooth than Hawass, but for the most part, they're pretty much identical. I'm just really enjoying this one because it's a lot more like marine from my nose. It's just coming across a little bit more marine than Hawass is, but essentially they're pretty much the same fragrance. Unless you like cherry picking and like, really in depth in photography, we call it pixel peeping, where you just get hyper fixated on one little nuance and this. Unless you want to do that, they're pretty much the same thing. But I wore this on Wednesday. Really good performance on it. It's not beast mode, but it's pretty good. It's like 8-ish hours and then it's gone. But I really enjoy it. All right, and then this guy, I wore this on Thursday, the day right after, and it's a freshie. It's a Silver Mountain water, kind of inspired by kind of DNA here. So you have this like nice rose character, black currant, just this freshness, and it almost smells like a crisp winter mountain that has like snow glaciers running down I don't think glaciers run down the mountain, but a cold snap. And I was actually out in the mountains while it was snowing, and it was like this beautiful aroma that was following me around when it was cold and crisp outside. It was perfect. It will go down in my memory as like one really great day because it just scent was on point, the atmosphere was on point, and it was just a really good day. So but this one, it's kind of a floral fragrance. Somebody called it on, somebody made a comment saying that it smells like a funeral home. So if you like funeral homes, if you're dying to get into a funeral home, check this one out. And this is from Rasasi as well. And this is Al Wisdom. I think that sounds like a rapper. That's probably wrong. Al Wisdom, about to drop a new album. I made a video like 2 days ago. If you want to go check out my full review, link will be in the description. All right, then on Friday, I wore Armani Code, the original one, which I did not think I was going to wear this, but I went over to my fragrance shelf right when I was about to leave, and I was like, let's wear something I haven't worn in like years. And this was one of them. So I think I've worn this like 3 times in the 4 years that I've owned it. I remember the day I got this one, I went on a walk on this really cool trail, but it was during 2020 and I was, out and about fitness Nate losing weight. And that was the day I first bought it. I first sprayed it on and I loved it. It was just Armani Code to me, and it just smelled like all of the other flankers that I had. I had the Eau de Parfum first, and then I had this one after that. So it kind of like, it wasn't really anything new or original. And when I wore it on Friday, it wasn't really new or original by any means. The smell is amazing. The dry down is amazing. The dry down is like at 4 hours though. 4 to 5 hours is like the max on this fragrance. So unless you overspray it and just bomb yourself with Armani Code, you're not going to be smelling like Armani Code for the 5 hours. But it does smell pretty good, and it has okay longevity if you're going out. Like if you were going out to like a club or a, night out, maybe going dancing or taking a, girl bowling. You're not going to be spending, 6+ hours with them or 6+ hours at the event. I mean, if you really hit it off, maybe. But at that point, it's not going to wear off and it's not going to leave you stranded. But Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's other options out there, but and two, they reformulated it so that the newer version is probably even way better than this. I have not tried the rebrand Armani Code. I'm wanting to try it. I think I'm gonna go try them out probably tomorrow if I get some time. But yeah, other than that, you know, it's Armani Code. All right, then on Saturday, I wore Hawass. It was kind of a chiller day, and I was waiting. Actually, it was so stupid. I was waiting all day for a FedEx package, and I live in an apartment building, and I was waiting all day for it, and because there's a bunch of new fragrances, I was going to record content yesterday, and I have to do it today, and once the package shows up. But I was waiting all day. I was in my apartment. All they had to do is like just call in, and I would have went down and unlocked the door, but they put like a building closed, customer unresponsive, we'll re-deliver. It's so annoying. FedEx, I hate you. So many times they've done this to me. It's just ridiculous at this point. It's like, this is like the 17th time, not including like all the missed deliveries. It's just ridiculous. But I digress. They'll probably work to the bone. It's none of my business, but it's just, come on, guys. And with that being said, like today is Sunday. I haven't sprayed on anything yet. Once the package comes in, I'm going to most likely wear French Riviera because that's one of the fragrances in the box. And so I'm really excited about that. Salty marine freshness. And then I also got some like other Latafas in there as well. I got, I think, Checkmate for Latafa in that too. I have Amber Full coming. So that one I'm really excited for. I don't know anything about it. It's a complete blind buy from me. But yeah, I'm really excited if the package ever shows up. But let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys had to wear this week. Was it a good week or were you disappointed? I hate when those weeks happen. But thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.